And so now we come to the actual instructions on meditation. And in general, where we start is the instructions for placing the body and the mind in meditative equipoise. And in general, then the physical posture is really important. There are reasons why we sit in lotus position on the floor on a cushion. And this is to help us gain equilibrium in our mind. As we know, then the body and mind work in synthesis. So if the body is balanced and relaxed, then the mind will reflect this state. It will help you to gain meditative equipoise and to enter into samadhi. But there's a problem here, because not all of us are able to sit in lotus position, and some of us aren't even able to sit on the floor. We have to use a chair. The important thing, as always, is to know where you are, and then understanding what your capability is, then you select a posture that is most suitable for you. But you should always try to progress, and so if you are initially unable to sit on the floor, then first use a chair, and then slowly, as your practice progresses, one day you may be able to sit on the floor, and even eventually in a cross-legged position like half lotus or full lotus. The important thing is, don't try to force yourself into a posture. You'll only end up damaging your knees or hurting your back. This is not going to be helpful in your meditative practice. And also, if you're extremely uncomfortable, you're never going to allow your mind to rest. It is important to remain relaxed but alert. And that's the reason why we sit upright and don't lean from side to side. And so first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain the 7 points of Vairochana posture. This is the classical posture we use for meditation practice. But also, I will give you some other alternatives, like sitting in a chair and also lying down. Really, for somebody who is an advanced meditation practitioner, it doesn't matter what posture they use. But for us beginners, it's essential that we place the body in equilibrium if we want our mind to come to rest. Now, the first instruction that I think almost everybody is aware of is that you sit in Vajra posture. That's with the left leg pressing down on the right, and then the right leg brought up on top of the left leg. It resembles the shape of a lotus. And this helps your spine to sit in the correct position. Also, it is taught that by sitting in the Vajra posture, unnecessary cognitive activity is reduced. It allows you to rest your mind and to remain in equipoise. The lotus symbolizes the mind becoming enlightened, because the lotus grows in the mud at the bottom of the pond. But the lotus itself is stainless and pure, so it's like the wisdom mind of the Buddha, or the true nature of your own mind. And if you're unable to sit in full lotus position, then it's also perfectly acceptable to sit in a relaxed cross-leg position. There's the position of the Bodhisattva, where the right leg is kept forward and the left leg is drawn back, or the normal cross-leg position that you will often see young children in school sitting in on the floor. The second point of the 7 points of Vairochana posture for meditation regards the hands. This is where the hands are said to be placed in equipoise, where the right hand is placed on top of the left, and the thumbs are gently pressing together. The left side of the body symbolizes wisdom, and the right, method. Also, the right channel, or the sun channel, is associated with cognitive thinking or conceptualization. The third point of the 7 points regards the spine, and this is one of the most important points of your meditation posture, and this is to keep the spine completely straight and upright. Now, of course, some of us have scoliosis, we have crooked spines. And over the years, then we develop bad habits and tend to lean to one side or the other. But as I said, you have to work with what you've got and do your best to sit upright and not to slouch back or lean back onto the wall. And also, sitting with the spine erect is said to keep the primary channels of the body open so that the prana can flow freely. It is taught that if the channels are blocked, it results in cognitive thinking. What we're looking for is this state of wisdom that goes beyond conceptual thought, and so posture is incredibly important. Likewise, if you don't sit upright, there's the danger that you will start to fall asleep. And so, sitting upright in this way allows your mind to remain clear and alert. and allows you to focus your attention on your meditative object. The fourth point is to keep the shoulders spread like vulture's wings. That means that you keep this area of the chest very open, and it allows the prana or the air to flow within the body. The fifth point concerns the head and the chin. The head should be balanced directly over the center of the spine, and the chin tilted slightly so there's a pressing back of the Adam's apple. It is said that the chin forms like a hook above the top of the spine. This sixth point of the 7 points of Vairochana regards the lips, and the lips are taught to be neither closed nor open. This means that there is a slight pressure between the lips, but they are not tense. Likewise, then the mouth is not gaping open. With the lips neither closed nor open, then touch the tip of the tongue to the top of the palate. This is said to remove the difficulty of saliva developing in the mouth as you meditate, because it allows it to drain back into the throat. The seventh point regards the eyes, and like the instructions on the spine, then it's very important for your meditation posture. This is to have the eyes neither open nor closed, and focused 4 finger widths in front of the nose. It's not the case that you should be staring at a particular point in space. Your focus or gaze should remain relaxed. I know that many people, when they meditate with their eyes closed. But in the Mahayana at least, then it's taught that your eyes should be slightly open. Again, like the lips, they're not pressed shut, and they're also not gaping open. The way that our eyes are fixed has a direct effect on our mind. If we stare very intensely at an object in the distance, it makes the mind very acute and sharp, and likewise, when the eyes are closed, then we tend to fall asleep. So there is this equilibrium, or this middle way of placement of the eyes. Likewise, if the focus of the eyes is soft, it's not directed specifically to any one object or any one point in space, then this also reduces the amount of unnecessary thinking. In general, this instruction on the eyes depends very much upon the individual. I know that some people, when they hear this instruction to focus 4 finger widths in front of the nose, then they become cross-eyed. This comes from misunderstanding the meaning of this instruction. The instruction is to merely allow the eyes to remain relaxed, not too far in the distance and also not too close to the body. The important thing with placing the eyes is that they should remain relaxed. And if you focus too intensely, what you may find is that you get a headache or you get eye strain. You should allow the eyes to remain relaxed, and don't focus intensely in the distance or stop yourself from blinking. Just look naturally in a relaxed manner without specifically focusing on any particular object. Many of us aren't able to sit in lotus position, and also many of us aren't able to sit on the floor, especially if we're elderly. And as an alternative, then it's perfectly fine to sit in a chair. The important thing is that, again, your spine should be straight. So you sit in the center of your chair with the spine straight and erect, and your feet placed flat on the floor. If your feet do not reach the floor, then you can put a folded blanket or a yoga block under your feet to make them level. Try to have the legs even on the right and left side, and either place your hands on your knees or in your lap in the position of equipoise as stated before. Make sure that the shoulders are broad and turned back, and that the head is balanced over the center of the spine, with the chin slightly tucked in and pressing on the Adam's apple. Remember, this resembles a little hook. The important point is that your spine should be straight and your body should be evenly balanced between the right and left. This is said to reflect the equanimity that is achieved between method and wisdom and compassion and emptiness. Again, the instructions for the mouth are the same. The lips are neither open nor closed, and the tip of the tongue is pressed into the upper palate, with the eyes neither closed nor open, but focused in a relaxed manner some distance in front of the nose. It is also possible to meditate lying down. At the time of the Buddha's parinirvana, then the Buddha was lying on the right-hand side of his body in a meditative posture called the posture of the lion. This is said to be the best posture to assume in meditation in preparation for death. but it's something that you can also do if you're ill and bedridden, or even if you just wish to meditate in a more relaxed manner in your bed at night. It is also possible to lie on your back with your knees taken up, especially if you're suffering from back pain or damage to the spine. In reality, you can use any posture for meditation, and you can even meditate when walking or doing the dishes. It's very much about developing your skill and your ability in your practice, and this is something that evolves over time. The second set of instructions for the 7 points of Vairochana is the placement of the mind, and these are instructions that many will be familiar with. Do not pursue the past. Do not invite the future. Do not alter the present moment of awareness, but rest naturally and meditate without distraction. There is also an alternative method given in the texts, and that is to meditate concentrating on a focal object, like the statue of Buddha Shakyamuni. So these comprise all of the instructions for placing the mind in the body in meditation. But in reality, there are many different types of methods that can be used in your meditative practice. When it comes to focal objects, then we can focus on something external, but likewise, we can focus on the breath or on a mentally fabricated object. Ultimately, our goal is to remain in recognition of the true nature of phenomena. But this itself is the meditation on vipassana and not shamatha. And so, in this series of videos on the instructions for meditation, I will try to give you a broad scope of methods that can be used in your practice, and also talk a little bit about the different results that can be gained from your practice. And until the next time, then see you later.